Is there any hope with the Nets, man? I know the assets, and obviously we're a national show, so not to get too bogged down with their dearth of draft picks and the finances, but it just seems right now, Ryan, like what they anticipated has certainly not come to fruition. What's the next step for them?
Yeah, they swung for the fences.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And when those deals were made, the perception at that point was, hey, they're trying to make a splash. They're trying to create some interest. New city, new arena, new identity, all of that. And get into the playoffs, as we know in the NBA, is not really the goal. It's to actually advance and win championships and create some memories. It didn't work out that way, and now they've got to pick up the pieces. What they need is credibility more than anything else. They've got to make a hire at that GM spot that raises the awareness around the NBA that they're serious, that they are coming up with a plan of some sort and not just throwing things up against the wall hoping that they stick. That's why this GM hire, whenever it comes, it could be in a week, it could be in 5 weeks, it could be in 3 months. Whenever that comes, that is going to dictate the course in which this organization takes. And from there, there's got to be a legitimate, regimented plan of how they're going to get out of the muck.
And that muck is deep. It's not going to happen overnight. I hear you. It's an arduous process, but it can be done. I wanted to run this by Ian. I'm curious. You've got to have a theory on this because we just spent some time on Chip Kelly. Chip gets a second chance, and probably rightfully so. 26-21. He won 5 more than he lost, which is no small feat in the NFL. Even with all the stuff with Shady and the racism and all the other, the allegations. What's confounding to me. And there's 2 schools of thought on this with Mark Jackson, who you know very well.
Yes.
Mark won a lot of games with the Warriors, had a bad exit with ownership, didn't go well. A couple of players still take shots at him like Bogut. Why is Mark Jackson, why does he not have a job in the NBA right now?
Mark's one of the best people you'll ever meet. You sit down with Mark, you walk away, and you feel good about it. With that said, in the NBA, it's a small circle, and news travels fast, and the way things ended did not help him. The fact that they won a championship, some would say, well, that was based on the fact that Mark laid the groundwork. Others would say, well, he could only get them to a certain point, and they needed someone like Steve Kerr that could galvanize the team on a different level, blend them together, get them to believe as one, and bridge the gap between coaching and management and ownership to get over the top. And I think the consensus has been the latter. Whether that's fair or unfair, who knows? Only the people behind the scenes know that. You know, Tiki, having been in this business for so long, there's reality, and then there's the altered reality of how things are perceived after the fact. And with Mark, I think, unfortunately, he's dealing with a case of the altered reality, and now it's going to be incumbent upon him to convince people otherwise. And I know Mark. Mark's a proud guy, really proud guy. I don't think Mark's looking at it that way as it's on me to convince people that what you're hearing is not true. He's looking at it as it's on you. Do your homework, talk to the right people, and you'll determine that I can help your team and I can help take your team to the next level. How that now transpires remains to be seen. How badly does he want it? How badly does he want to get in? And does he have to change or adjust based on the circumstances that are in front of him? Those are the questions.
That's a good answer. So, with Ian Eagle with us here, play-by-play man, Westwood 1, CBS. He's doing college hoops this weekend, as he often does. Georgetown and UConn, does the net stuff as well. He's with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio.
Ian, you talk about reality and then the perception and altered reality. Just over a year ago, we were having this debate about Deflategate and Tom Brady and his role and how he'd ultimately be perceived. And it seemed like a drain. I don't know. No one's ever experienced anything like what the NFL did when they went after him. But here we are. A year later, they're right back in the AFC Championship game. He has a chance to go to an unprecedented 7th Super Bowl. And so when you think about Tom, and I know you did the game last weekend against the Chiefs, their game against the Chiefs.
Yep.
What is the feel around that organization and him? Is it fatiguing? Is he motivated by what happened last year? How should we view this in a full spectrum?
We sat down with them for 15 minutes, and we get the chance to do that before every game. That's one of the great things about doing the network games is you do get exposed to the players and the coaches, and you try to get a snapshot of some sort. You're not going to get all the answers. Certainly with the Patriots, you barely get any answers. But you do get a feel. And the guy exudes so much confidence, and you can see why players respond to it. I know that it can be annoying for people, and it shouldn't be, but it can be. When somebody is ridiculously successful and seems to have everything, it's often easy to take pot shots. You're from the outside looking in. No. It's contrived. That's not real. I got to tell you, having done as many games as I've done, having been around him, it's real. It's legitimate. Yeah, this guy's not playing a role. He's not trying to convince you that he's the guy in the locker room and the quarterback that everybody leans on and the leader that everybody looks towards. It's real. It's legitimate. He, in that 15-minute window, we walked out of there saying, these guys are going to win the game. And they're going to win the game because they believe in him, they believe in the system, they believe in one another. They constantly reinvent themselves offensively, week in and week out. You have no idea. You want to scout them, you want to look at tape, you better go deep, really deep. I'm talking about years and years ago, because they are bound to bring something back from '04. That's how they do it. You actually have to prepare for stuff that you're never going to see. And Tiki, as you know, if that takes you out of your normal practice routine, as a coaching staff going against the Patriots, that forces you to look at things that you would never look at, that means you're not looking at actual stuff that might help you in the game. So, they've got this thing figured out. It's a science. There is something to Belichick going into the back and the chemistry thing, the mad scientist routine. It's all very real, and I would not be shocked if they go out and win this thing again.
Why don't we have you on more often, man? What's the story here?
I'm telling you, stop ducking this thing.
Yeah, I have caller ID.